Okay, we are live. Oh, there's a sound. Who's banging? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second installment of Sacred Fool's Reprise series of video readings. My name is Jacob Sidney, and I'm the director of the West Coast premiere of Dave Hanson's Waiting for Godot, which we're happy to have a chance to share with everyone once again tonight. Many thanks to Dave for allowing us to present his show in this format, and thanks also to company member Jessica Sherman for her beautiful production photography, which we'll share with you periodically throughout the play. Tonight's presentation occurs under the auspices of Theater Authority Incorporated, an agreement amongst the various actors' unions allowing their members to participate in fundraising efforts over video conference such as this. One of the stipulations of Theater Authority is that all actors must broadcast from home. And of course, we're all still sheltering as safely as possible. So we're coming to you from various neighborhoods around Los Angeles. As such, you might hear an occasional siren or a barking dog. For the members of Sacred Fools, this makes us feel right at home, and we hope you will too. Playwright Dave Hanson will join us from New York after the show for some conversation. If you have a question for Dave or any one of us, log into YouTube and post it in the live chat. We'll take a few minutes to answer questions after the show. Now I'd like to introduce two of our three artistic directors. Mark Antonio Pritchett is not with us tonight, but please welcome Adriana Colon and Vanessa Stewart.
Thanks, Jacob. We are so excited to present tonight's show. You see, Waiting for Godot actually had to wait before making it to Sacred Fools. It wasn't programmed the first year that Jacob Sidney, our director, submitted a proposal, but the artistic directors had this play top of mind going into season 23. This is a small show with big impact, and it takes place in a setting theater folks know well, which is a backstage dressing room. Fun fact, company member Aaron Francis paid homage to Sacred Fool's former home on Heliotrope for the set design. So it was a long time treat for Foolish fans. And our lobby featured candid photos of our time there, which is pretty uncanny, huh? Well, uncanny is just the word for Waiting for Godot. And we're so happy to now share it with a broader audience. And Vanessa, can you tell us more about tonight's event and the fundraising involved?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Sacred Fools is proud to present our new streaming Reprise series, bringing back to our audiences some of the most notable works in our history in a new format meant to keep our viewers safe at home. But as the pandemic is affecting our artists in theatrical life as we know it today, we ask that you consider a small donation when viewing Waiting for Godot. You can donate to www.sacredfools.org/donate. I will also be putting this link into the chat box as you watch tonight's performance on YouTube. And if you like it, tell your friends. This will be viewable at this link for 4 more days. Now sit back, enjoy the antics of our characters in tonight's special presentation of Waiting for Godot.
Thank you so much, Adriana and Vanessa. Now I'd like to introduce our assistant director for the production last fall, Marisa O'Brien, who has graciously agreed to read stage directions for us. Welcome, Marisa.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Without further ado, please enjoy Waiting for Godot.
Waiting for Godot by Dave Hanson. We are backstage of a local production of Waiting for Godot. Around the room is an assortment of junk from previous productions, costumes, props, boxes, trunks, random furniture, theater cubes, etc. Somewhere in the room is placed a small bust of Beethoven. From a backstage speaker, a performance of a play is heard in monotone. Upstage, a door leads to a bathroom. A second entrance leads to the rest of the theater. While an intermission occurs within the world of the play, there is no intermission in the performance. Ester stands center stage. He is wearing a vest that is too small. He struggles to button it, almost gets it, fails. He tries again, almost gets it, and fails. At some point, he hangs the vest up, walks away, and tries a few actor warm-up exercises.
Peter Piper the pickled pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers did Peter Piper the pickled pepper picker pick. Whether the weather be hot, whether the weather be cold, whatever the weather will.
He looks at the vest. He puts the vest back on, tries again. Fails. He takes the vest off to check that it is the right one. He begins again. And fails. He takes the vest off, perplexed, gives it a good shake, tries again. Val enters. He carries 2 to-go coffee cups and a paper bag full of sugar packets and creams. He sits, setting down the coffee cups and pouring out the bag of sugars and creams onto the table. Val picks up a sugar packet. He tries to tear open the packet. He almost gets it, fails. He tries again, almost gets it, and fails.
Nothing to be done.
Not now.
Esther grabs both coffee cups, tests which one is more full, and sets the other one back down.
So where does the coffee come from today?
A coffee shop.
Which one?
The AM/PM,
Oh, a gas station.
if you say so.
Did you give them a picture?
A picture?
Yes, a picture.
Why would I give them a picture?
Trick of the trade, my lad. You offer them a picture to hang on their wall, and in exchange, they offer you free coffee.
Why would they do that?
Because if people know that this is where true artists go to get coffee, it adds prestige to said establishment.
Gas station.
If you say so.
You've done this?
But of course, I haven't paid for coffee or dry cleaning in over 10 years.
But don't you have to pay for the pictures?
Mind your own business.
Well, I did not give them a picture.
Then how did you get the coffee?
I didn't get the coffee.
Then how did we get the coffee?
Aunt Mary got us the coffee.
Aunt Mary.
Aunt Mary.
Good God, it's like she comes every night.
She does come every night, just in case we perform. She says I'm going to be a famous actor one day.
And you believe her.
Do you think she's lying?
You don't have to be a liar to be crazy.
Aunt Mary's not crazy. She's just sick is all. And seeing me go on will make her feel better.
But we never go on. We're the understudies. We're waiting.
Right. Well, so is Aunt Mary, waiting for us to go on. Speaking of which, any word?
About what?
From him. Us.
Him who? Us?
Him, the director.
Oh, him. No, nothing.
So it is not our night.
Don't say that. It could be.
How?
It's only the matinee. Something could happen.
Don't say that. What kind of something?
Oh, you know, the usual. A light could fall, someone could get sick.
Or quit.
That would never happen.
Don't say that. This is a very difficult show to do. No one even knows what it means.
What means?
The show.
Well, it doesn't seem so difficult to me.
Of course it's difficult. Look at you. You can't even get your costume on. Imagine if we had to go on stage.
We never go on stage.
Don't say that. It's only the matinee. Something could happen.
Oh. Help!
Val rushes behind Esther and tries to button the small vest.
You have to breathe in.
Esther sucks in a breath. Val still can't get it buttoned.
I said breathe in. Breathe in!
I am breathing in! God!
Let me just.
Oh, it's beginning to get alarming. It fit yesterday. Or was it the day before?
The day before, we were dark yesterday.
Oh, well, I'm dark most days.
Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
What?
Signifying nothing.
What?
Signifying nothing.
Ah! Sweet Hamlet.
What?
Hamlet. You just quoted Hamlet, one of Mr. Shakespeare's greatest plays.
I don't think I did.
You did.
I wasn't quoting Hamlet. I was quoting great classical monologues for men.
Are you sure?
Of course I am sure. Here, I'll do another. And seeing ignorance is the curse of God. Knowledge the wing wherewith we fly to heaven.
Look, do not speak to me of God. I gave him up years ago.
You don't believe in God?
Of course not. I'm an atheist.
I thought you were a devout Catholic.
Well, I don't see how they're mutually exclusive. Besides, a true artist must believe in himself above all else.
I don't agree.
Then you are not a true artist. Don't tell me you still believe in God.
I do believe in God. Good, orderly direction. I can sum up most of my beliefs with a good acronym.
Christ.
Val picks up his script off the table as if rehearsing his lines.
Godot.
What?
Godot?
Yes?
The play. Are we saying it right? Is it Godot or Godot? Or maybe Godot?
I have no idea.
Well, we should figure it out, shouldn't we?
Why?
In case we perform.
Don't be absurd. We never go on. We're waiting.
Doesn't seem so absurd to me.
Esther gets up and tries on his vest again. Val returns to putting sugar and cream in his coffee. The sound of the play can be heard in the background. Suddenly, Esther throws down his vest.
It wasn't always like this, you know.
Calm yourself.
I once played Hamlet in a production in the park.
Titus,
Whatever.
how was it?
Oh, I forget. An actor must never remember lest his performance becomes stale.
Was it well received?
Oh, very. I got a mention in the program.
You always get a mention in the program.
I do, don't I? They said it was the best Hamlet that year.
Titus.
Whatever. Well, it was great. Sort of. I mean, it's never as great as you imagine.
Oh, someday I want to play Hamlet.
Titus,
Whatever.
work hard, study hard, and someday you will. Look at me.
But you're still waiting. We both are.
We are part of a very important production. I mean, Beckett, you know? Beckett.
Who?
Sam Beckett. Samuel Beckett, the author. He's very well respected.
Is he? Do you think he'll come?
He's dead.
Don't say that.
My friend, he's been dead for years. They all have.
All who?
The greats, all the great artists. Williams, Ibsen, Chekhov, Sophocles. Oh, how I miss them.
Did you know them?
No, not physically. Oh, that's the state of things, I'm afraid. The greats are dead and have been replaced with sophomoric reinterpretations of things that have already been seen. Nothing new.
Nothing to be done.
Shush! Not now. This is the very reason I stopped doing film.
You never done film.
Stopped pursuing doing film.
That's because you don't have a talent agent.
Yet.
Yet. Why do you not have a talent agent yet?
Well, it's not my fault, you know. These days, talent agents won't talk to you unless you are famous, or unless you look like someone famous, or unless someone famous or who looks like you becomes famous. In the end, all there is to do is wait. Wait for death. Or a phone call, whichever comes first. And just hope someone remembers your Hamlet.
Titus.
Whatever.
They cheers coffee cups.
That's why I got into all this, you know.
What? Why?
To be remembered. I want people to remember me when I'm dead.
Oh, vanity of vanities. I'm not in this business for celebrity. I'm in it for the art. Fame and fortune be damned. I need only a stage and lines to speak. 2 planks and a passion. I care not if anyone sees me.
Really?
But of course, an actor never needs an audience.
Well, why would you do a play for no audience?
Because the show must go on.
True. Do you think we will?
Go on? In this show? But of course, our time is nigh. The director will want to make a change, add some new blood to the production. As soon as he gets here, he'll tell us. You'll see.
And then we'll get our big break.
One never knows who's in the audience.
Directors,
Writers,
producers,
press.
Aunt Mary.
Oh,
When will he get here?
who?
The director?
How should I know?
But you said he was coming tonight.
Oh, yes. Of course, he is. I'm sure he is. I mean, he has to let us know when we'll go on. right? I'm sure it's all been arranged.
Oh, good.
But before that happens, we really must address some things about your technique. I took some notes for you. Nothing major. First, you're not a very good actor.
You take that back.
You don't listen very well.
The hell did you just say?
And your intentions.
I'll give you until 3, or something's gonna something.
A good
1,
actor listens.
2,
But all you do
3.
is say your lines.
But an actor is supposed to say his lines.
Wrong. That is called talking, and acting is called listening.
Then what's listening called?
Shh.
But I don't hear anything. But I can't hear. But I can't hear anything.
Well, that's because you're not listening. These are the types of things they're teaching at Juilliard.
You went to Juilliard?
Of course not. No one actually goes to Juilliard. I took a workshop once. Overheard another actor talking about Juilliard and the biz.
The biz?
Yes, the biz. The entertainment business. Show business? There's a song about it. There's no business like...
Everything about it is appealing. Everything that traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that happy feeling when you've been stealing that extra bow. There's no people that show. People, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. The night you opened and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they've hung a star. Let's go on with the show.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
Anywho, I have all sorts of great tips for the biz.
Like what?
All right, I'll tell you, but this information isn't free.
Oh?
When not acting, I find it fulfilling to share my knowledge with the younger artists of our community.
You teach acting?
Amongst other things, directing, improvisation, writing for the cinema.
You mean screenwriting?
If you must.
Well, how much do you charge?
For my level 1 class, $300.
Dollars?
Usually, but I accept most currencies. Oh, don't worry about the money. When they see you on stage, they'll pay you $400 at least. More than enough for you to pay for my classes.
I don't know.
Trust me, you need them.
Well, what do I learn?
Level 1 is all about the miserly technique.
The what?
Le miserly technique. La technique misère. What you do is you give as little as possible to your fellow actor by just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again?
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again. You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
You're just repeating what they say over and over again.
Yes!
Yes.
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 Yes. How does that make me better?
I am being miserly with my talent, forcing you to be better with yours.
Oh, smart. What about level 2?
Oh, well, I don't want to give you too much, but level 2 is all about mame.
Meme.
Mame. The art of swearing on stage.
But I don't like to swear.
Then you're a son of a bitch, cocksuck motherfucker! It's very handy for film work.
Film work? Sign me up.
Well, we'll begin right away.
What's first?
Unfortunately for you, I must require that you take my pre-level 1 class for beginning beginners.
Oh, really?
Yes, you are very far behind in your training. You must still learn to be in the moment.
The moment?
The moment.
What moment?
The current moment. Now.
Right now?
No, now is gone. We're talking about this moment now.
Right now?
No, now.
Right now?
No, we miss now.
When?
Back then. We're dealing with now.
Now?
Yes.
I'm in the moment?
Well, you're in the moment now.
I'm in the moment now.
But you must now forget now.
Forget what now?
Exactly. An actor must learn to forget and then forgive himself for forgetting.
So what do we do now?
Improvisation. Now. The important thing in improvisation is yes and.
And what?
Exactly. Just be anything. There is no wrong. Begin. Wrong. We're dealing with yes and.
And what?
Yes. Follow your impulse. Support everything, deny nothing, and begin.
It sure was a rough day at the doctor's office.
Wrong. You are a policeman and it's the happiest day of your life.
But I'm not happy.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Never argue a note. Acting is difficult. An actor never should be.
Am I a difficult actor? Do you think he noticed?
I'm sure he did. I mean, he hasn't been by, has he?
And that's because of me?
Oh, your acting probably offended him.
Could be you, you know.
No, it couldn't possibly be me.
Well, at least my costume fits.
My costume fits.
Not anymore. It doesn't fit anymore.
Don't say that. It does fit.
It does not.
It has to fit. It's my costume.
And yet it doesn't.
Of course it fits. Don't be absurd.
I'm not being absurd. It doesn't fit.
It fits because it is mine. It is mine because it fits.
Esther goes back to trying on his costume. Val sits, plays with his hat.
Damn it! Where the hell is it?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yes. It sounded like a shout.
Do you think it's him?
Him who?
Him, the director.
Well, why would he shout?
Something happened?
You think?
He's not happy with the show.
He's fired an actor.
In the middle of the show?
He's fired both.
You think?
I told you, it's our time.
Aunt Mary!
Oh God. We might have to go on stage.
Finally, Aunt Mary will see our work.
I think I might be sick.
And who knows who else is in the audience?
My costume doesn't even fit.
Directors?
I'm sweating.
Producers?
I can't.
Press?
I
The
forgot-
whole world could be out there.
Oh my God.
Something is happening.
I don't know any of my lines.
You don't? Panic! It's all right.
What do I do?
Calm yourself.
You're about to go on. I can't remember any of my lines, and you're telling me to calm myself. I don't know any of my lines.
Well, let's rehearse them then.
Oh, let's rehearse them.
Excellent idea.
From the beginning. Begin. From the beginning. Begin.
They switch places and start again.
From the beginning, begin.
They look at each other. They get mad at each other, pointing at one another, trying to physically force or urge the lines out of each other's mouths. Finally, they collapse in a heap, defeated.
Nothing to be done.
Gosh! Not now.
But I don't know where it is. This isn't my fault.
Ester and Val jump up and scramble to find a place to hide. They try a few places that don't work, eventually hiding behind the costume rack. Enter assistant stage manager Laura. She is dressed in a black t-shirt, black cargo pants, black sneakers. Her t-shirt may or may not reference a Renaissance fair or her favorite musical. She carries a box of props from the show and her Waiting for Godot technical script in a thick binder filled with sound and light cues and stage blocking written on multiple colored pages. Around her neck rests her headset connected to a pack that clips to her waist. Laura is having a bad day. Val and Esther thrust their heads out from between the costumes and look at Laura cautiously.
Is that him?
Who, her?
Yes, her. Is that him?
Him who? Godot!
Who?
You know, from the play.
Oh, is that him, the director?
Oh, him. I don't think so.
How can you tell?
Well, she doesn't look like him.
As if you know what he looks like.
Should we ask him?
Why, you fool, you don't just ask a director a question. You must wait and be spoken to first.
Should I make a sound?
What?
You know, to get his attention?
Excellent idea.
They duck back down in their hiding place. They stand up in full view of Laura.
What are you doing? To be the bird, one must think as the bird, then move and speak as the bird would move and speak.
They duck back down. Val bursts out of his hiding place, his performance taking him around the room in flight.
Wonderful. Brava. Capital. Very well played.
Thank you!
Oh, did you feel it? You were in the moment.
I felt something.
Ah, my classes are paying off.
They are caught by Laura, who is staring at them.
There it is. Is that your vest?
Esther steps back, nervous. He pulls Val in front of him.
Well,
Are you speaking to us, sir?
What?
Are you speaking to us?
Who else would I be speaking to?
Oh, thank you, sir. An honor.
What?
I'm sorry.
Well,
What?
is it?
Yes?
Is it your vest?
Who?
I'm not wearing a vest.
I wasn't talking to you.
Thank you.
Val escapes to hide.
Is that your vest or not?
Look out!
As Laura turns away, Esther tries to hide in plain sight. It does not work.
No, the one on your body that doesn't fit you.
Why do you ask?
Estragon is missing his vest. He's been doing the whole first act in a vest twice his size. There might have been a mix-up. Is that one yours?
Of course it's mine. Why, it fits perfectly.
Well, no, it doesn't,
Now, quiet, you
actually.
idiot. First they take your costume, then they take your part.
They do.
Are you sure it's yours?
White. Are you, you know,
Am I who?
The director.
Oh, God, no.
I told you it wasn't him.
I look nothing like her.
Her?
Laura turns and begins cleaning up clutter, putting away props while searching for the vest.
Of course her, you buffoon. Women make excellent directors. Everyone knows this. My colleague, he is new to the biz.
What biz?
Why, the entertainment business, of course.
Is that what this is?
Exactly.
Esther steps behind, forcing Val to be front and center.
Do you know who we are?
Course.
A fan.
We have a fan?
We probably have more than one.
You think?
Word has spread that we are involved in this production. Quick, find out more about her.
Val turns to Laura, nervous.
So, do you come to the theater often?
I'm here every night.
She says she's here every night. Why are you here every night?
I work here.
She says she works here. Are you sure?
I'm the ASM.
She says she's the ASM.
Idiot. Oh, of course, the assistant stage manager. We meet so many people, fans back here, that my colleague gets confused. Wonderful to see you again, Lisa. Lana?
Laura.
Lama?
Laura.
Lama, I'm a huge fan of what you people do.
Huh?
I'm a very large admirer of what... We are actors, players, artists, if you will, in a production of
Waiting for...
Waiting for Godot.
I know. We all are.
Ain't that the truth?
How is it out there on stage? How is the performance?
It is what it is.
Maybe the second act will be better?
It won't make a difference.
Maybe it's the acting. Perhaps if two other actors were to step in, the production would be so much better.
No. The acting is acting. They have no idea what the play is about.
No one does.
Everyone does.
It's a mystery.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
Or am I just typecast that way?
Are you saying you're a crazy person because you've been cast as a crazy person?
Chicken or the egg, Llama?
Are you as crazy as he is?
Oh, me? I wish. Aunt Mary seems to think that if I just keep at it, that I will...
Stop talking about that lunatic.
She is not a lunatic. She says I'll be a famous actor one day. If I just...
Oh, he has potential, I'll grant you that, but he is very green.
Well,
Laura
sure,
begins to leave.
I'm sure it will all work out for you. Acting is not that hard.
What? How dare you? What?
Well, It isn't. You wear a costume someone else made, you stand where someone else tells you to, and then you say lines someone else wrote. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Actors breathe the breath of life into those characters, creating, for a short time, the existence of a person who only lived on paper. But a moment ago, we are the conduits of creative inspiration.
It's very hard work.
Looks like it.
Madam, allow me to give you a brief example of one of the many steps it takes to create a character.
He snaps his fingers at Val to assist, who helps take off his vest and pushes a box or a chest for Esther to stand on, center stage.
Now, in this exercise, the actor will choose an animal that best represents the spirit of his character. This is a classic tool for actors. I shall become a gorilla, not unlike Brando, as he prepared for Streetcar Named Desire. And begin. Hey, Stella! Stella! Hey, Stella! You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. They call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. The horror. The horror. You talking to me? You talking to me? Huh? I'm walking here. Attica, you can't handle the truth. What we've got here is failure to communicate. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. I am big. It's the pictures that got small. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. I am your father. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. Wilson, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Wilson. I'm also just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Rosebud. Come on! And acting. You see, true art is a challenge of both the mind and the body. I master my instrument, and I use it to tell the story.
So, how does jumping around like a gorilla help you as an understudy?
Oh, it is the very spine of my character.
A gorilla.
I am always a gorilla.
Whatever.
Laura begins to leave.
Oh, well, we'd love to see the assistant stage manager attempt something as difficult as acting.
I help call a show. That's difficult. Acting is easy. They let anyone do it.
Boy, then, huh? We'd love to see you attempt something from your script while we watch you act your big stupid foot right into your big stupider mouth. On guard.
Laura gets up on the chair, opens her script, and readjusts her headset.
Esther steps down center stage right, looking out to the audience. Stand by, light Q27. Time, life, that's what happened. Passed me by long ago, I suppose, and I've been living a lie. Light Q27, go! Shoveling bullshit right along with all the other bullshit shovelers. Light fade, single on Esther. Val moves down center stage left. Stand by, light Q28. And this is what my life has become. Devoted to my own cause and not to the cause bigger than myself. Light Q28, go! Stand by, light Q29. Art, that terrible whore. And now she has left me in the ditch where I await death. Light Q29, go.
Oh. What's that from?
The second act.
Is it?
Acting is only one part of the show, a part anyone can do. Managing a show is far more difficult, especially when you're forced to deal with actors acting like actors. The acting in this show is so simple, deaf puppets using sign language could perform it.
Laura steps off the chair and tries to leave.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's dreadful.
Oh, I wish we were doing that.
Deaf puppets? That doesn't make any sense.
Of course it does. Think about it. Deaf puppets imply several truths about our existence. One, we're all just dangling on strings, controlled by fate or God or the universe, none of us having actual free will. Deafness expresses our inability to address the pain of life and our own mortality. And sign language for puppets would be almost impossible to understand, which further emphasizes how the human race really is just a bunch of deaf-blind creatures truly incapable of understanding each other while we wait around to die. I mean, Beckett could hardly express it better.
That's absurd.
Exactly.
Smart observation. You graduate from Juilliard or something?
What do you know about Juilliard?
My cousin went to Juilliard.
Nope. No, I don't think so. No one actually goes to Juilliard.
How would you possibly know that?
Because I'm an educator of the theater.
You teach theater.
Amongst other things.
Sounds like someone doesn't have an agent.
Yet, I am waiting for the right representation for me. Once I have an agent, it'll be smooth sailing from there on out. I'll be working until I don't want to work anymore. Oh, yes. I won't even have to audition once I have an agent. They'll just make a call and I'm in. A guaranteed career. It'll be the Blue Ox to Easy Street on the sunny side, as they say.
No one says that.
I just said that.
Excuse me, how do I get an agent?
Agents are everywhere. Odds are you'll be pissing next to one in the bathroom.
Oh, so vulgar for a lady.
The question is, would an agent want you? Well, this has been interesting. I just needed to check on that vest and to let you know we're at intermission.
Is the director coming?
No,
Maybe later?
no,
Did the director say anything about us?
no. We're at 5 now.
Laura exits.
Thank you, 5.
Thank you, 5.
The nerve of that child. Huh? Coming back here to check on my vest. They're trying to get rid of me.
Is she right?
About what?
Acting being easy and finding an agent, all that stuff.
Oh, don't you listen to her? Don't you listen to her for one moment. This town is full of people like that. Angry about their lot in life, so they come backstage and talk to true artists about their vests.
Huh?
She's trying to get rid of us, I know it. Don't listen to her. She doesn't know a thing about the biz. Went to Juilliard, please, as if anyone ever has.
But do you think an agent will want me?
Of course. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? You're so new. It takes a long time to establish oneself in the industry. Just do as I do, and when the time is right, you will, no doubt, find an agent. You have to pay your dues, you know. We must suffer for our art.
Esther slowly returns to trying on his vest. Val goes back to sitting and sipping his coffee.
Should we leave?
No, that wouldn't be right.
Why? No one cares.
Someone does? Your Aunt Martha?
Mary,
Whatever, she cares.
she's not going to see us.
Don't say that. You mustn't give up hope. We could still go on.
How?
Well, it's only the matinee. Something could happen.
Like what?
A light could fall, someone could get sick, someone could get fired.
That won't happen, not by tonight.
You don't know that.
Not unless somebody makes something happen.
Well, what if we made something happen?
What are you talking about?
We could curse them.
What?
Curse them. Put a hex on them.
You're an atheist. You don't believe in hexes.
Not a witch hex, like an old theater hex, you know? Like where you're not supposed to say a certain Scottish play unless you're doing it.
Oh, you mean Macbeth.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or we could wish them luck. You know, you're supposed to say break a leg, but instead we say good luck.
Let's do it.
What do you think will happen?
Anything.
Everything!
We'll finally get our big shot.
Our big break.
Us.
To us.
On the count of 3. 1, 2.
Good luck!
They wait expectantly, looking out towards the door. They look to the speaker expectantly. Slowly, they realize nothing has happened. Eventually, Esther returns to his vest. Val looks around and spies the bathroom door stage right. Esther hangs up his vest and cuts Val off from using the bathroom, using it himself instead. Val waits patiently for a moment. It is becoming obvious that he has to use the bathroom badly. Val moves about the room, exploring for a moment. He notices the bust of Beethoven and goes to it, checking to make sure Esther is still in the bathroom. Val picks up Beethoven and begins to embody Esterisms. Val then decides to try on Esther's vest. He moves around like Esther, pantomiming some of Esther's moves and reactions, struggling with the buttons, etc. Then Val remembers that he still has to pee. He looks at the bathroom door that is still closed. He knocks on the bathroom door.
No.
In a panic, Val decides to flee the backstage in search of another toilet, still wearing Esther's vest.
Oh, no. Damn it. No toilet paper.
End of Act 1. Act 2. Esther enters from the bathroom. He performs a few actor warm-up exercises and vocal scales. He paces. He stops. He looks at the costume rack. His vest is missing. He frantically searches the room for it. He checks the bathroom. Nothing. In a fit of rage, he hits the costume rack and hurts his hand. He slumps to the floor, covering himself with anything he can, eventually ending up under the table in a sad heap. Val enters, still dressed in Esther's vest.
Nothing to be.
I did it!
They took my vest.
It takes Val several moments to figure out where Esther is.
What?
They've decided to let me go.
Who?
Him.
Him who?
Him, the director.
Her.
Yes, her. I'm finished. They sent that horrible woman back here to see if I was worth my reputation.
You have a reputation?
Of course I have a reputation. But now, my reputation will be the guy who couldn't hold a gig.
Wait, what happened?
Look! They took it! Any minute now, they'll come back here and they'll just take my soul. I've been cut.
Esther sits defeated in Val's chair. Val sits on the stool. Their positions are reversed from the first act.
Cut?
Cut from the show. I'm finished in this town.
What do you mean?
Don't cry for me,
I'm not crying.
for I'll never perform on the stage again.
You've been fired?
I'm just another out-of-work actor who couldn't hack it.
From this show?
I'm humiliated.
You're getting fired from this show.
I guess I don't have the talent after all.
What on earth are you talking about?
Just go on teaching, I suppose.
But why would they cut you?
Those who can do and those who can't.
So you're done?
I'm finished. They've slammed the door shut on me. Oh, this show was to be my big break. This was going to finally show the world the kind of actor I was. A few good reviews here, and soon word would spread. After a couple months, calls would come. Run in Chicago, then New York, a modest run off Broadway. Then, the Broadway.
Ester, lost in his dream, performs his monologue. He finds a lit floor lamp, tips it forward so the light hits him like a spotlight from below. Somewhere in the distance, a lonely saxophone plays.
And after the Tony nod, I would start taking offers. Offers for film, serious roles, something sexy and cool, would be charming and dangerous. Really make people think, about Africa. Or wherever. And then people would know me. They'd think of me when they looked at the trouble in their own life. And thank God I was there to tell their story. I was to be the noble artist whom everyone loved. I would no longer rent, for I would own.
But what happened?
Time. Life. That's what happened. Passed me by long ago, I suppose. And I've been living a lie, shoveling bullshit right along with all the other bullshit shovelers. This is what my life has become. Devoted to my own cause and not to a cause larger than myself. Art. That terrible whore. And now she has left me in a ditch where I await death.
No, I mean, what happened during intermission?
The music cuts out suddenly and Esther lets go of the lamp, killing the spotlight.
They took my vest. It's gone. I have no character. They fired me. They killed me. Later, someone will come out and run me out on a rail, humiliated, covered in tar and feathers. They took my vest, and that's all I had.
I took your vest.
What?
I took your vest.
You took my vest.
Yes, but that's not what I was trying to...
You took my vest.
Yes.
Are you working for them?
Them who?
The director.
No. Well, yes, I mean, in a way we both are.
So you are my replacement.
What? No. What?
This business, this industry, so cruel. They take the ones you love and they turn them against you.
Esther starts to stalk Val.
I'm not...
You performed my role in some sort of a secret audition, didn't you? Probably in this very theater in a dirty back room.
We're in the dirty back room.
They promised you fame and fortune if they would only betray your best friend, huh?
Well, I wouldn't call us best friends, per se.
Esther begins to pack up his belongings. He takes the bust of Beethoven, one of the lamps, a coat rack, and starts to walk off stage.
You did all kinds of sexual favors for them, I suppose, huh? And who could blame you? This is the opportunity of a lifetime. What you did for art and personal gain. Do not feel ashamed. It's the American way. My God, what has happened to this great country of ours?
I'm not your replacement.
You're not my replacement.
I'm not your replacement. How would I replace you?
Esther begins to walk across stage, lost in his own ego. He unpacks his belongings to where they were.
Of course. How could you replace me? Me, a true artist.
I'm already cast as an understudy, so that wouldn't make any sense.
Oh, they would never replace me with someone like you.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
I'm not being fired. Oh, my inner
That's
artist,
some ego you have
I
there.
really can't control.
You were just about ready to gill yourself over nothing.
It's a person.
I don't think it's very healthy going from the highs to the lows like you do.
The whole idea is
Your vest is not what I wanted to talk about. I have some very important news to share. News that's more important than your vest. Oh, but that doesn't matter because it's not about you. Sorry. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to take your vest.
You stole my vest.
That's not the point.
You stole my vest.
I didn't steal your vest.
You stole my vest.
Fine, I stole your vest.
You stole my vest.
I stole your vest.
You stole my vest.
No, not this again.
Return my character's property.
Esther begins to chase Val around the stage. Val tries to fend him off. It turns into a sad wrestle as Val tries to take off the vest and Esther tries to take it from him.
Wait!
Ahoy!
Stop!
A sad grapple.
Something happened!
You're lucky I didn't call the authorities.
What authorities?
The authorities of the stage. For it is not just my vest you stole, but the vest of Estragon, the vest of Beckett.
Something else more important happened!
You nearly derailed my career. What could be more important than that?
I got an agent!
They stop moving. Esther has Val in a strange version of a half Nelson. Silence.
What do you mean you got an agent?
I mean, I signed with a talent agent from a talent agency.
Esther releases Val.
You were gone 15 minutes.
I know. I got signed across the board.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
How?
How what?
How did they discover you?
I was pissing.
Explain.
Well, during the intermission, I had to go to the bathroom, but you were in the bathroom back here, so I went to the lobby.
You're not supposed to do that. The lobby bathroom is for the patrons of the theater, not the players.
I know, but you were in our bathroom and I really had to go, and I figured, why not? No one will notice.
But someone did notice.
Exactly. So I was still wearing your vest when...
Why were you wearing my vest?
It's not important. It's very nice in the lobby bathroom. They have toilet paper.
They have toilet paper.
Yes, so I go to the urinals.
They have urinals.
Yes, and as I'm pissing, I notice someone is looking at me.
They have someone to look at you.
Yes! And as I'm pissing, a man in the bathroom asks if I'm an actor. I said I am. He asked if I was in this production. I said I was. Then he said he is a talent agent who represents talented actors across the board and was wondering if I'd like to sign. He said I had a great commercial look.
But I have a great commercial look. Has he seen me?
I don't know. Have you been to the lobby bathroom?
How did you get signed?
Oh, well, I just finished pissing, signed with him, just so.
Just so.
Isn't it great? Someone thought I looked like a talented actor. And that someone is a talent agent. A talent agent wanted me. Me.
Well, I suppose that's fine. If you want to be the type of actor that cuts corners.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not exactly following the rules.
What rules?
The rule about the lobby bathroom, using it to get ahead, that's not exactly following the rules, my friend.
But that's not a real rule.
Are you allowed to use the lobby bathroom?
No.
Then it's a real rule. You can't cheat to get ahead in this business. There are no shortcuts. We all must pay our dues. We all must suffer for our art. We all must follow the rules.
Well, maybe we shouldn't follow the rules.
But how dare you? What?
We've been following the rules, and what has it gotten us?
A fulfilling career.
Esther thrusts the bust of Beethoven towards Val as proof.
That isn't fulfilling, that's Beethoven.
We're part of a very important production, aren't we?
But look what happened the one time I didn't follow the rule. I got a talent agent. And that was just by going to the bathroom. Just imagine what else is out there in other bathrooms. We should do something else. Something bold, something brave. We should quit.
Quit?
Yes!
Just walk away?
Sure!
Just throw our responsibilities out the window?
Why not?
We made a commitment.
Yes, but it's not working. All we're doing is waiting, and if it doesn't go anywhere, what's the point?
What's the point of anything? It's what we do. It's best not to think about it.
But I want more than this. I don't want to wait.
Well, yeah, I'm afraid you're just going to have to wait. Aren't you, Mr. Bathroom Pisser? There are no shortcuts. We all must suffer for our art. We all must pay our dues. We all must wait for waiting for Godot.
Esther grabs his vest and sits on his stool. Val sits in his chair.
Who is he, do you think?
Who is who?
Godot. You ever wonder that?
Who is Godot?
Yes.
No, who is Godot?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
And I'm asking you who the hell you were talking about.
Who is Godot? The guy we're waiting for?
We're waiting for the director.
Yes, I know. But in the play, it's who we are waiting for. And I'm asking, who is Godot? Why are we, or they, waiting for him? Is he God? Does he represent some sort of fatherly approval? Is he an abstract thing, like an ideal? Some sort of purpose, maybe? Maybe good news? Or, see the carrot dangling on the end of a stick? A threat or an empty promise? Because he doesn't come in the end. He does not come. What kind of people hang around waiting for a promise that doesn't come?
I want you to listen to me very carefully. I have no idea what you're talking about. But I am trying to focus on my character's wants. So if you could just please be quiet.
You're mad that I got a talent agent.
Of course I'm mad! Who the hell are you? What have you done? What have you accomplished? You're brand new in this business. Why should you get a break when us hardworking, true artists have to suffer?
I thought you were supposed to suffer for your art.
Not me. You! You're supposed to suffer. I've been suffering. I've been suffering for years, and I hate it. I hate all this suffering. There is nothing noble about being rejected for your art every day. Having to pull yourself up like a lackey and say, well, I guess I just wasn't meant to have that job. As if there's meaning in any of this. I mean, look at him. What did he do? He relieved himself and he got an agent. Huh? Where's the sense? Where's the logic? The art in that? I can piss. Oh, look. I can piss. I can do it right now. Why not me? Call that agent.
Esther grabs Val's coffee cup and begins to piss into it.
Oh, yes. You just tell him I can piss on command, huh? Oh, my piss has been reviewed by the critics, and they have said, why, yes, it is the best piss in town!
Esther sets the coffee down.
You pissed in my coffee.
You've been pissing in mine since the day we met.
Esther sits down next to the costume rack. Val sits at his chair by the 2 coffee cups. Slowly, he pushes the piss cup away from him. They sit in silence for a while. Only the play from the speaker can be heard.
You and I are the only ones really doing it, you know.
Must you go on like this?
I mean, isn't that what he's saying?
Who?
The writer. Beckett. Beckett. Isn't that what he's saying about life and everything? That all we do is wait. That we have time to grow old and all that. We should leave.
We can't.
Why not? No one even knows we're here, and if we're like the story, then we should just leave.
What if something happens?
Don't say that.
Val runs away, exiting toward the lobby. Esther sits in a sad, pathetic silence alone. Val re-enters.
Something like what?
Well, you know, a lightning ball. Someone could get sick. Someone could get fired.
Then they'd need us.
And we'd get to perform.
Finally, the world will see our talent.
We'd make our careers.
Thunderous applause.
Curtain calls.
Great reviews.
Money.
Fame.
Fortune. We can't leave.
I don't want to leave.
They embrace, excited. They stand up expectantly. Slowly, the excitement dies down. Esther moves back to the costume rack. He begins trying on his costume again. Val eventually sits again, playing with his hat.
Do you ever have doubts?
Doubts?
Yes, doubts.
Doubts about what?
About yourself? About being an actor? About missing out on those things? You know, those things in life?
Never. Wait. What things?
You know, those things. Those nice things that people have in their lives. Like a house for a family.
Esther slowly sits down on the ground, defeated as they doubt.
A washer and dryer. A car that doesn't break down.
Food.
Val joins him.
A refrigerator full of food.
Christ, I haven't eaten a meal I've paid for in 3 months.
A wife and kids.
Soup kitchen at St. Mark's is not terrible.
You know, the only compliment I ever got in my career was from my sister. She said she was proud of me for really sticking with it. She has 3 kids, a house, and vacations with her husband in Florida.
I keep packets of ranch dressing in my coat pockets, and I don't know why.
I've never been to Florida.
Ranch.
I don't want to quit acting, but this is my life we're talking about. And when I die, will I look back and regret all of this?
I never got to see my nephews grow up.
My mom still pays for my plane tickets home for Christmas.
I've never been home for Christmas. I'm Jewish.
Val pats an emotional Esther on the shoulder.
Wait. What are we doing? What are we doing? Sit up, sit up.
Esther pulls Val to his feet.
We are actors, sir. Professional artists. We live for the creative purpose, not material wealth. The bravery of what we do every day makes us heroes. For we are the men in the arena. Our faces dirty, blood and grime. We fail sometimes and succeed others, but we always get back up and keep trying. That's what makes us different from those people out there. Those people with their houses and refrigerators full of delicious food. We do what those people cannot. They consume. We create. We are the mirror to their world. Through us, they see and understand their life better. And if you can't find solace in that, then go back to be a bookstore clerk or a school teacher or an office manager somewhere in the middle of the country and leave acting to those of us who do not care for such things.
Yeah, I guess.
Guess nothing. No. Be. That is what we do. What would Mr. Beethoven think of all this defeatist talk?
He wouldn't like it.
Damn right. Stand tall, man. Visualize what you want to happen, and it will. Do you see yourself failing?
No.
What do you see then?
I see me. Myself. On stage performing Waiting for Godot.
When?
Tonight.
And the audience.
They love it. They're moved. They laugh. They cry. They're overjoyed.
So it's not this audience then?
And there's Aunt Mary. She's so happy for me.
All right. What else?
She's healthy. I think my performance healed her.
Okay. Open your eyes. That's just ridiculous. What are you, Jesus Christ? You can't heal?
Actors, please exit the stage. Actors, please exit the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, our apologies. We have a medical emergency in the house. If you would please quietly leave the theater through the exit doors. Our sincerest apologies.
Esther and Val freeze, staring at the intercom, unsure what all this means. After a few moments, Laura enters. She begins to clean up, barely giving Val and Esther any notice.
Show's over, guys. Go home.
A show is never over. Actors simply stop performing it.
Well, the actors have stopped performing it tonight and the audience is leaving.
Why?
There was a medical emergency in the theater and the actors, out of respect, have decided not to finish the show.
We'll go on.
Yes, we're ready.
No, the audience is leaving.
We'll get them back. This is why we are here.
What?
Yes, we're the understudies. If the actors have left, it's up to us to finish the show.
No. No show tonight. There was a death.
On stage?
No, not on stage, in the house. An audience member died.
Who died?
She was an older woman.
An older woman?
She's here every night. We know she wasn't a donor because no one knew her name, but the paramedic said her name was...
Mary?
Yes. Did you know her?
Aunt Mary?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I have to go.
Comrade, be brave. The show is not over.
The show is over.
The show is not over.
I said the show is over.
Show is not over.
Why wouldn't the show be over?
Because the show must go on.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Why does the show have to go on?
Because it is a written rule of the theater.
Where's it written?
Somewhere. Please. Please. The show must go on.
Wanted to see me perform.
She knew we were here.
Laura begins to put things away for the night.
It was her death that will allow us to go on?
What a gift to be given.
It's so beautiful.
This is our something. Our something finally happened.
A light didn't fall.
No one was fired.
No one quit.
Esther and Val are now center stage.
I didn't want it to happen like this.
No one did.
She died.
Nothing to be done.
Stop it! I am not going to allow this crazy person to speak to you like this. You
Step
need to
away
get
from
out-
the artist. This is our something. This is how it happened. A seemingly random occurrence that fulfills the purpose of those who are ready when the time calls.
Val looks to Laura and pulls away from her, choosing Esther.
Whatever.
My friend, are you ready? Let us show this audience what sacrifice is all about.
Yes. I am ready.
Laura exits, shutting off the lights as she goes, leaving Esther and Val standing center stage in the dark.
Well, shall we say our first lines?
From the beginning?
Begin.
End of play.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. I enjoyed that thoroughly. So if everyone else enjoyed it half as much as I did, then that'll be a good thing. I want to welcome back our cast so we can acknowledge their wonderful hard work. Julie Marciano as Laura, Joe Hernandez-Kolsky as Val, and Bruno.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. And,
Thanks so much.
And Bruno Oliver as Esther. Thank you so much, Bruno. And I also want to welcome Marisa O'Brien, our assistant director from the production, and as Laura. There we go, and we've got Dave Hanson on his way.
Oh!
Okay. Let's see.
Oops.
Almost got him. I hear him.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh no, my video's not working. Hang on.
Ah, that's okay. So, oh, Dave has muted himself for a moment. So, as Adriana mentioned, I proposed this show initially for the 1819 season. I had been working in San Diego and a cast member in the show there. We were sitting around backstage one night, just talking about plays, talking about new plays we like, and he said, "Man, if you want a play that is funny and also just touching and kind of profound at certain moments, you have got to read Waiting for Godot." And so at the time, I felt like, hey, I'm on a professional acting contract right now, so I'm getting paid to do art, so I should, in turn, support another artist. And so I went on Amazon and I bought the script. Whoa. And I got it and read it, and I was 5 pages into it, and I thought, oh, someone wrote a play for Sacred Fools, because it really just perfectly encapsulates our ethic. Our ethic is such a big word, but it's just I'm jumping back and forth. We're hoping we can get Dave's video working, so I'm looking at that as well. But there's Dave, hooray!
Man.
Thank you so much, Dave. So so it really is just a perfect balance of kind of what Sacred Fools does, which is we have fun. We tend to keep things light, but with just enough meat on the bones to keep it from being pure fluff. We really like to explore different ways to use comedy and lightness to get at more serious issues. That's not to say that that's all we do. We definitely do more dramatic productions as well. But this is something that has been a strength of ours. This tone has been a strength of ours over many, many years. And so as soon as I found the play, I really wanted it to happen. So thank you, Dave, for letting us do it.
Yeah, of course.
Can you tell us a little bit about where did the play begin in your mind? Tell us about the process of bringing it into the world.
Sure. I just want to say that a little bit of meat on the bones and not all fluff is also how I describe my physical appearance. The play started. The original nugget of an idea started when I was cast as an understudy in Waiting for Godot in Los Angeles many years ago. It was the first gig I ever got as an actor. And I was so green as an actor, I didn't really have the wherewithal to go, I shouldn't be in this, I should step away. Because it wasn't necessarily a bad production. It was just, obviously there was no pay. It wasn't union. There wasn't anything about it. It was just one of these random gigs you get as an actor in LA where it's suddenly there's a play available and you take a break from auditioning for film or commercials or something for a second and you do a show. And I got cast as the understudy, and then it was just immediately apparent for the schedule and the way they were working it that I was not going to get a lot of rehearsal time. And suddenly I started having this really panicky experiencing mixed with, for the first time as an actor, diving into Samuel Beckett's words, which for anybody who actually has done that will mess with your worldview.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, Beckett is one of those artists who, when you read him, your understanding of the earth kind of shifts and permanently shifts. And so I was going through sort of an existential crisis of being part of this production and just not getting any time to rehearse, not knowing my lines and being backstage going if anything happens, this show's done. I can't go on. I won't go on. I shouldn't go on. I wish I was on. I really want to go on. I need to perform. So it was a really weird experience for me. And then years later, after I moved to New York, I started just that always sat in my head about the realization that I was experiencing what the play is about in real time. But the actors who was performing it was not, because they were getting to do the thing. I was just waiting. And so then I started to really kind of explore in a satirical, absurdist way, the sort of elements that actors and writers and all artists in the entertainment industry kind of go through. And I went through all my experiences talking to a bunch of different actors. And when you really boil it down to, I think, sadly, both Ester and Val are both me, a split personality part of me as an actor. There's a part of me that really, really wants to present the artist and the art of me. And then there's the naive side of me that even to this day, as a veteran of the industry, still goes, am I good enough? Should I be here? Do I have permission? And I think a lot of actors and writers and artists ping pong that back and forth in their own heads for a little while. And so that's kind of where it came from.
For a little while.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I've always been curious, and I would understand if perhaps you don't want to say, but I've always wondered what theater that was, Dave.
Okay, so it wasn't, the theater was at I don't think it's there anymore. It's called the American Renegade Theater in Burbank.
Okay.
And it was a really gorgeous space. I was actually pleasantly surprised when the production moved in to rehearse in there, and I was like, whoa, this is a real theater. But the production was an independent production. They just happened to get that space and got to perform it. And so that was like sort of my experience with that. And it was just one of those random gigs, man. You just don't get paid for it, and you're putting all your sweat and time into it. But then I was just sitting back waiting to put my sweat and time into it, and then scurry off to whatever side hustle job I was working. So
sure. So tell us briefly a little bit about other productions besides ours. I understand you had New York, you had London, and then do I remember you talking about some translations?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we first did it in the New York Fringe Festival in 2013, and it was I played Val, and Chris Sullivan from This Is Us played Esther, and so
you launched his career.
He totally launched his career.
Sure.
Oddly enough, when we rehearsed, we were in rehearsals, and he got cast in the show The Nick, which if anybody's ever watched The Nick, it's a fantastic show. But yeah, and then Amy Weaver played Laura, and we went on with Alex Harvey directing. We went on and did that, and it did really, really well, like better than we expected at the Fringe, and got a lot of attention. And then from there, we happened to get lucky enough to get a New York Times review, and when the New York Times reviews you and likes you, bing, 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 doors open, because people read that newspaper. Apparently, it's very popular around the world. But yeah, and then Amy Weaver played Laura, and I'm getting a weird feedback. With Alex Harvey directing, we went on and did that, and it did really, really well, like better than we expected at the Fringe, and got a lot of attention.
Oh, that's your Dave. You still have YouTube on.
We happened to get lucky enough to get a New York Times review, and when the New York Times reviews you and likes you, bing, 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 doors open, because people read that newspaper. Apparently, it's very popular around the world. But yeah. Played Laura, and I'm getting a weird feedback.
This only makes it better.
That's right.
This is such a waiting for Godot moment.
Now the audience is going to watch 30 seconds of us sitting there wondering what the hell is going on and trying to figure it out.
Oh, it's just so perfect. It's so perfect.
So
unsure of why that happened.
Okay.
Sorry, dealing with a bunch of other computers here. What was the question? Oh, where did it go? Yeah, it went to London, and it had been to it got London production. Then we started getting some international interest. So it's been to Turkey, and it's had a big. I'm huge in Turkey, of all places. So I went to Istanbul, and it's played around there, and it's going to Italy next year. And the play continues to bounce around the U.S. Great, regional theaters pick it up, and so forth. So
that's fantastic. And if anyone happens to view this from jolly old England, in the published script, Dave actually has a whole set of like noun replacements and places and things, and in the script already for the foreign English language. So I think we do actually have some questions that came into our YouTube chat. Bruno, you ready with some of those?
Oh, hang on. Did we lose Vanessa? I thought she was doing that.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it.
Okay.
I got one from Madeline. What was your favorite part of doing it live on YouTube versus the stage?
The thing that I like the most is the intimacy. It allows you to have, really see the characters up close and personal. That's my favorite part of it, is that you can see facial expressions, hopefully, and what we're going through easier than you can when we're in a theater space.
Yeah, it's a bizarre hybrid of like acting for the stage and acting on camera. That was also the challenge of it. Maybe someone's going to ask this later and I'm blowing it, but the challenge of not being able to look at someone, but it's still weirdly intimate, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was really fun for me to put together the sort of a way to communicate the physicality, because in production it's quite a physical show, but I also wanted to honor Dave's script. So there were certainly moments where the stage directions maybe didn't match exactly what was going on in our production, but sort of between the stage directions, a little bit of physicality live from these actors, and then also the production photos, I felt like, and I hope that all joined together to give people a sense of what it felt like to sit in the audience of the show. So it was certainly fun for me. You have more, Vanessa?
Yeah, I do. I've got one from Bridget for the actors. She says, the end hit really hard for me. And I felt like some of that was because of the current world crisis. Did the characters feel different for you in this pandemic performance than live?
I have been thinking about that this week, and it's since when the pandemic hit. When it hit, I was in the middle of producing and co-directing a show that was going to go with Kirk Douglas, and everything was very, very much in a high. And it was almost like having a state, even worse than the understudies. It was almost like being ready to step on stage. Literally, you're about to break the curtain, and everything just stopped. And I also happen to be the board president of the company, so every day I'm thinking about the future of theater in LA and the world. It's not even that I can say, well, there's that date in the future. I don't know. So much like this play, our tomorrow is ever repetitive. We don't really have more information every day. We're no closer to the end of this. We will eventually someday be closer to it. But from where we sit right now, every day just feels pretty bleak. So I've definitely been thinking about this play in relation to that.
Julie or Joe, do you have thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, I think it maybe inspired a little bit of Val's optimism, needing to be extra positive in the moment. You can't help it wherever you're at, taking that and it influencing whatever you're performing in. So it definitely informed it in that way.
I would say that whole section of, the kind of what are we doing and like, don't you want those nice things in life? I think really hits hard right now because I know so many people who have been affected and like moved home and had to completely uproot their lives because of this. And it's definitely conversations I've had in my own home of like, if we moved to Nebraska, we could own a house. So that to me was like, oh my gosh, I've had this conversation so very recently.
Yeah, that feeling of, does what I do actually matter? Like that's been a big part of it because my twin careers, and I think Dave can back me up on this. My careers are stage performing and tending bar, and so that's just like my entire working life just out. I'm sitting around going, okay, maybe I'm not that important. Vanessa, do you have more?
I do. Okay, we have another one from Bridget. She says the pacing is really good. Did you have to do anything special to combat lag in Zoom?
No, we just tried to jump on it. I think we all just tried to jump as quickly. I kind of only while we were doing it paid attention to, I have to be careful that you can't cut me off. It's harder to just cut me off. So I need to just stop and just accept that,
We did adjust a couple things that are more overlapping. Though, there is that one scene where we are literally over talking each other for a good chunk of half a page. I could hear both of us on Zoom. I have no idea how well that translated across into YouTube, because Zoom is built to help one person pop out over the rest of the people. So it's inherently not built for that kind of dialogue. There were a lot of sections that did go a lot faster without the physical action. There was a lot of bits in the play, in the production, that we didn't have here. And it was certainly strange doing the part after the fight, being able to breathe. Normally that part of the play, Joe and I are both sort of like, so.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is about kind of one of the key differences between stage acting and camera acting, where you can't start, like Joe alluded to, you can't start your line until you're sure the person before you is done on almost all film stuff. And so I feel like, and we didn't really focus heavily on that. I think I'm just fortunate to have three skilled actors who kind of have that sense, and we're prepared to just make that adjustment.
Okay, I've got one from Duck, our friend Duck. She says, I was just wondering if the actors took inspiration from any comedy actors or what was their inspiration for the performance? What was the inspiration for the performance in general?
I mean, we definitely took, well, for the stage performance or for this performance, for the stage performance, we both Bruno and I were given, the three of us discussed, Laurel and Hardy, a lot of the old classic comedians. And I mean, Bill Irwin was a huge influence, I think, for us. And strangely enough, he was performing at the same time as we were doing this. And we tried to get him to come to the show. He was unfortunately not able to. But and that's the great thing. And I'll just tell a quick little story. So the funny thing is that Bill Irwin was in Waiting for Godot and is a highly physical comic actor who we all admire and respect. He said, you know who needs to come and see this? David Hyde Pierce, because David Hyde Pierce was my understudy in Waiting for Godot. So I think that's pretty funny.
Bruno or Julie?
I'm my own comedic inspiration.
Julie's my inspiration. Julie's my inspiration every night.
I will say what I did was I sent an email to every stage manager, almost every stage manager I'd ever worked with, and asked them about their experience working. And it was truly so helpful and eye-opening. And our stage manager, Rachel, I shadowed her, I talked to her, I looked at her notebooks, and tried to walk through the role through their eyes, because I know my relation to stage managers as an actor. I don't know what it feels like on the other side to deal with actors.
I mean, for as you said, Laurel and Hardy being our sort of primary physical and rhythm inspiration in the first production, for this production, I realized pretty early in the week, thinking about it, that so much of my performance in our fall production, the rhythm of it was based on a physicality. It was a physical sort of baseline that was happening the whole time for Esther. And without that, so for example, the opening bits is a very long extended physical thing, and so without that, I kind of just switched a little bit more to trying to make sure I heard the rhythm of the comedy of the lines. I was watching To Be or Not to Be, the classic To Be or Not to Be with Carol Lombard and Space's
Jack
name.
Benny.
Jacket, yeah. Just so for this production, I was focusing more on the bip, 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 finding the rhythm, the Noel Coward aspect of it in a way.
I've got one from David Haverty. He says, would you oh, do we have more responses?
No, that was just Joe giving a shout out to David Haverty.
Just me saying what up.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
Sure. He's David Haverty's asking, would you consider this performance a reading, since it really didn't feel like you were using your scripts for support?
I'm so glad you couldn't see us using our scripts.
I felt like every time my eye darted, it was like,
yeah,
but that's just being self-conscious. Well, we Sacred Fools, but other companies too, we're trying to explore this form as something that is more interesting than a reading, but also acknowledging that it is not a stage play, and trying to figure out what are the things that we can and can't do given this. And this is just one. Zoom through YouTube is just one format, and Zoom in April is not Zoom now. I mean, they've come up with all sorts of things that made tonight possible that weren't here 3 months ago. So, yeah, I don't know what to call it anymore. But that question is being asked by a lot of theater companies. What are these things? I mean, it's not the same thing as a cold reading just to hear the script for the first time. It's definitely something different.
And we definitely have an advantage of being a fairly recent production that had a full run. So we were able to, I really was grateful to our cast for being able to bring that kind of energy in. And I'll tell you, one of the things that made it lean a little closer to a full performance was Bruno consistently trying to steal lines from Joe. So,
it's not like I just highlighted them.
That brings me back. I would like, this is from me actually to Dave. How did you feel as a writer? How did it represent your work in this medium as opposed to the stage? In knowing writer to writer going forward, this might be our medium for a minute. Like, what do you think about doing these works in this way?
I mean, a couple of things that I noticed. One, it's doing it this way made the reality even more absurd. I think because there's no audience that you feel and hear and are sort of that come in with your rhythm as a performer. So I'm watching the two actors, and it's almost like this is actually how these two characters would be in real life, because there isn't you know what I mean, just two guys in a room, nobody really paying attention to them or not thinking about it. So in one sense, it added a sense of realism and absurdity at the same time. There is something absolutely delightful about watching Bruno and Joe step in and out of frame, seeing close-ups of like the lower half of their bodies at times, or the lower part of their faces. There's just some great joy, because they both were playing with the camera, and Julie too. There was just so much fun play going on with the camera as opposed to the set or the stage itself. And so that was really, really fun. But I guess from the writing standpoint, it's similar and totally new at the same time. We're all in the theater because we like an audience, right? We all in the theater to be like being in front of an audience, like hearing an audience respond, and reacting to it. And so there is a loneliness that comes in with performing plays in this way, in a sense. And I don't think it should be ignored. We are missing something. And that sucks. It's one of the many things that sucks about 2020.
It made me think about the loneliness of like a person alone watching it at home.
Yeah.
Well, it's a strange.
And yet I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for this, to have this moment, to see these people again who I got to go and spend time with and work with back in the fall of 2019. And get to enjoy their performances again, and many of us have had a dozen, Zoom meetings or family gatherings and friend happy hours, and we're kind of hanging on with those, because those are the things that are keeping us keeping these faces in front of our own. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. But as a writer, it's hard, but also I'm grateful for it.
I have another question for you, Dave, from Madeline. Are you thinking about writing anything for this medium in particular, especially since digital shows could become a reality if anything like this happens again?
Yes and no. I try not to cater project ideas to the medium per se. If I've got a story idea I want to write out, I tend to just write it out first and then see if I can adjust it later. So as I work right now, I've got a few things in mind, but as you're developing them, you're kind of thinking like, okay, how would this work in Zoom? How would this work if it was a Zoom TV show where you had to film it, or a play, whatever that means in the world today, and how would that work? And I think what we did right tonight was quite delightful. To cut back to photographs to kind of show some of the action when the action isn't showable. Also, really leaning on the very camera savvy talent and skill set of these actors who know how to play for the camera as well as each other. So when you're writing projects, I think you have to keep that in mind now. How does this look from an audience standpoint on a laptop or a TV or whatever in Zoom? And also, who are the actors I'm going to use? Who are the actors I can lean on that can definitely make this medium work? And I think we're going to discover that that's going to be something that has to be learned, and the ones that do it now are the ones that are going to be most valuable. And so I highly endorse the three actors we had on tonight, because they're geniuses.
Yes, applause to them.
Can I have that in a letter of recommendation for?
No, you cannot, Joe. No, you cannot.
Please,
it's on for 5 days and then it's gone forever. Deal with it.
Damn it.
All right. Do we have anything else, Vanessa?
I think I've nailed all of the questions I've seen. If anyone has any more in the chat, please put it. But I don't have any more on my end.
I have a question. Who did the cover for Val's monologue, classical monologues for men?
Did you see? Did you see who was edited by?
Yeah, edited by Dave Hanson and Freddie Roach. And Melissa and I are sitting next to each other laughing about our time at the gym with you.
I can leave you with a comment from from Doug, who is an enthusiastic person commenting on our YouTube.
We love Doug.
Yes. Doc says, it's very cool of you guys to do these performances for us. I'd love to see them live. You brought the absolute most energy to it. And thank you.
Wow.
And shout out to Bridget in Tucson.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that watched.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing I wanted to say too, is I really do want to thank our company members and supporters who did come and see. I was a little nervous that because Antigone did not get a full production, maybe people were going to watch that because they didn't get a chance to. But the fact that everybody came and saw ours as well, that really means a lot. Thank you.
Well, I want to personally thank our cast members again. And this is just a way for me to compliment myself at doing a really wonderful job casting the show. No, but you were wonderful, and this is not easy, and it's an enormous amount of work. So thank you all. Thanks very much to our entire production staff, our design staff. I encourage everyone to go to sacredfools.org and take a look. And while you're there, find that donate page and give us a few bucks. Any small amount helps enormously so that we can hang on and eventually bring you more productions in the future. So I think that is it for us tonight. Thank you all very much. Please keep your eyes peeled for the next Sacred Fools Reprise series offering.